What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of KFL Tonight, family. How y'all doing? What's going on? How's everybody been? How were your days? It is Monday, you know. Did everybody have a case of the Mondays today? I did. I had a case of the Monday as soon as I woke up. What's up, Mr. J.R. Mockabee? Welcome to the show. Who else we got in here? Who else we got with us so far? We got a pretty good show tonight, man. We got the one and only Indianapolis Knights on with us this evening. You guys gonna get to meet them. We're gonna try to pick their brains and figure some stuff out about them. Maybe I can get them to give up a couple secrets about this upcoming season. Maybe their lakes or whatnot for their opponents. If you're watching, maybe you get some tidbits, some little secrets, some little unknown stuff that you don't already know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll happen. I'm gonna wait till we get a couple more people in here, and then we got something pretty important I want to mention. I want to talk about before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Something that needs to be brought up, something that needs to be addressed, and we're gonna get that out of the way, and then we're gonna get into some fun. So, you know. You should have, you know me already. You should have already went and got your beverages, your tasty beverages ready. I got mine. Tonight is just lemonade and ice. Have your tasty beverages ready and, getting ready to get into this thing. So, first and foremost, we're going to talk about the thing that's near and dear that I want to bring up. So, Over the past weekend, we had the KBBT national qualifier, right? We had an instance of cheating, and it isn't something that we're it isn't conjecture. It isn't something that we're accusing. It's a pretty cut and dry case. I'm gonna give you the facts of it. Facts are an angler, I'm not going to give any names, but an angler double submitted fish on purpose to try to gain a advantage. One of the pictures was taken, and in the background you saw land, and then the second submission of the fish was actually over water. And then also in his bag was a dead fish. And like I said, it's not conjecture. Once we spoke to the angler and talked to him, everything came out. The angler actually confessed to it and rogered up. And the angler has since been banned from KBBT and KFL for life. And he has a 1-year ban from KBF. So, it's a sucky situation, but it's something where it needs to be done, needs to be talked about, needs to be brought up so that everybody's aware and everybody is understands that this thing is this thing is serious, man. I mean, there's money on the line. There's the competition aspect of it, the sportsmanship aspect of it, and we won't stand for cheating at all in the KFL or in the KBBT. I'd like to say one thing first, is that thank Fishing Chaos for their ability to challenge catches. That's a great feature, and it's something that aided in this, as well as Fishing Chaos is just since we made the switch to Fishing Chaos, it's just been a pleasant surprise. I mean, their ability to cater or customize the app or leaderboards to what best fits KFL and KBBT is awesome. It showed in our preseason matchups when we used Fishing Chaos. It was something that really looked nice. The layout was easy. You can see the scores, personal scores, as well as the team scores. So thank you, Fishing Chaos, for helping us out and continuing to work with us. And making this thing better. All right, so that was something I wanted to talk about and get out first and foremost before we got into the interview portion. And so, like I said, tonight we got the Indianapolis Knights, we are 5 days out from the first matchup, and their first matchup is going to be against the West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. And if I'm, I want to make sure I'm not giving you bad information. It will be on the Elk River against the Appalachian Anglers, and we're going to bring them on, and so you guys can meet the Knights, and we can talk some turkey. So we got Mr. Sam Jones, Mr. Justin Staley, Mr. Jason. Correct me if I'm saying it wrong. Is it Cassidy or Cassidy? How do you say it? Cassidy? Gotcha. Yep. Jason's on the water right now. We're going to try to bring Chip on with us as well. Chip was having a couple of technical issues. Oh, looks like we got him. Chip, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear,
awesome.
Sir.
Good deal.
All right, so these are 4 of the members of the Indianapolis Knights. Mr. Sam Jones, could you tell us who we're missing from the feed tonight?
Yeah, so we got Mike Elsey and Alan Reed also in Texas right now, prepping for the Bassmaster Classic. And then we have Adam Murray. He was not able to join us tonight. He's with the family. Okay. And Brian Sparks, who is also not able to join us tonight.
Got you. Hey, just real quick, I want to respond to this. So in case you didn't know, the way we're going to handle this in the KFL is just like how KBBT handles it, is when you have a fish, say you catch a fish with a blind eye and that left eye is blind. The way to get around that is going to be to take a video of the fish on the board, you measuring the fish and releasing the fish, swimming away live, right? So there are ways out there that we can, account for the fact that we catch fish with one eye or a blind eye. All right, so back to the Knights, man. I like those jerseys. I'll tell you what, I think they're the second best looking jerseys in the league.
Thank you, appreciate that. I'll take second best. I know you're a little biased, but
hey, I'm not biased at all, Mr. Jones, at all. I was actually thinking the Washington Warhawks had the best looking jersey. Not.
Oh man, that thing's awful. That's like the ugliest bird I've ever seen.
Yeah, I call them the War Chickens. Yeah, I'm joking that they don't have the best looking jerseys. But anyway, those jerseys are fresh, man. I really like those jerseys. All of you have a hand in it, or was this all you?
Yeah, I mean, we went back and forth on the design. I showed them throughout the stages and got everyone's approval. So definitely, I mean, I worked with the company that did these for us, 316 Active. Unfortunately, like many businesses right now, kind of dealing with the aftermath of COVID. They're kind of shut down at the moment. Hopefully they'll be back up sooner than later. But they're making a great product, and it was fun putting these together.
Yeah. I mean, they came out great, man. For those people looking to get a jersey, man, you want to tell us what company you went through?
Yeah, again, so it'd be 316 Active. You can find them on Facebook. At the moment, they are not taking any orders. Partially that's due to just product material. They have a very specific material they make their jerseys out of, and rather than going with another material or something like that, they just decided until they can do what they want to do with their jerseys, they're going to kind of put things on hold. So, pray and hope that things turn around for them and they can get back into business and making jerseys for us again.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, COVID kind of put a halt to like the way we knew life or we knew the world prior to COVID. And we're all, as the world is opening back up or the U.S. is opening back up, we're trying to get used to what the new normal will be. So, it makes sense that that's happening. First and foremost, I would like to, and the KFL would like to thank the Indianapolis Knights title sponsor, TRC Covers, for bringing this team, for sponsoring this team, and giving them the backup that they need to get this show on the road. Would you like to tell us a little bit about TRC Covers?
Yeah, man, they've been huge for us. They've been huge in the kayak community. They're a sponsor of KBF this year, the Trail Series. In fact, all their series. They've definitely invested a lot back into the community, both on the boat side and the kayak side. They make a great product. They're American-made, veteran-owned. Best fishing rod protection on the market. It's not just some cover. It actually protects your rod. They float. They've got built-in rod tip protection, reel covers, lure covers. They just released a new product, a spinning reel cover, and a little insider. This hasn't even been shared with the public yet, but we also have another product coming out. It's in the final testing phase, and starting Wednesday, we are launching a Bassmaster Classic sale. So Bassmaster Classic sale starts Wednesday. You'll start seeing details about that Tuesday night into Wednesday. So check that out, trccovers.com.
Hey, people, you just got your first exclusive on KFL tonight. TRC Covers has a new thing coming out. Check that out Wednesday night. Check it out. So I'm going to go through the comments list real quick. Who we got with us? We got Mr. Mockabee, Wyatt Guard. Jason Campbell says, what's up, fellas? Stephen Bell from the Casters says hello. Mr. Jim Louvier himself, the guy who catches nothing but, actually the guy who refers to 22s is just 22s. And then we got Mr. I already mentioned Jason Campbell. But let's get into it, man. So for the people who don't know Sam Jones, don't know who you are, man, why don't you give us a little insight to who you are and how you came about and put this team together?
Yeah, man. So I've been fishing, like everyone always says, I've been fishing my whole life. I grew up fishing Boy Scout, fishing derbies and things like that. I got into tournament fishing and bass fishing, though, somewhere around like 13, 14 years old, and immediately went into tournament fishing. I've done it all from a float tube to high-end bass boats. I found kayak fishing through Chad Hoover. I moved to Hendersonville, Tennessee, a few years back, and met Chad at the very beginning of everything. He would stop at the same gas station I did every morning, and got to know him, and that's how I came to find the kayak fishing thing and ultimately get into it several years after meeting him when I moved back to Indiana. We've got an amazing kayak fishing community here. You can fish literally multiple kayak tournaments a week here. I've already fished 26 tournaments this year.
This year already?
This year, yeah. I've fished 26 tournaments already this year because we have 4 awesome groups here in the state of Indiana, plus KBF, and it allows us to have plenty of time on the water every weekend. Like I said, you can fish from Thursday to Monday here in the state of Indiana, which is amazing, and it's how I've met all of these great guys that are on the Indianapolis Knights team. And, I love the sport. I love the community and everything we're doing.
So when you mentioned, I don't know if you caught last week's show with what team was it? I want to say it was the Casters.
They were pretty forgettable, whoever they were.
Come on now. You going to put me out there like that? No, I'm old, man. I got bad memory. You see all these grades right here?
Me too, buddy. Me too. I forget who's on my team sometimes.
I think it was the Casters, man. I just learned what float tubing was like last week. It's crazy. It's crazy. Seems interesting. I would never do it because too many things can touch your legs or whatnot.
Yeah, I was the same way. I did it in some really clear water. I see guys going out in these murky rivers. No way.
So you know what? I think I would be able to do it in clear water if I could see at least 10 feet. At least 10 feet. Maybe 20 feet. I don't know. I'm kind of scary, I guess, when it comes to that. But I just can't imagine not being able to see, and then something rubs up against your leg.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a pole in my hand, I'm fighting the fish. If the fish gets away, he takes my pole. I don't care how expensive it is. And I'm probably standing on top of this float tube that won't let me stand on it, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I'm not in one.
So, question for you, sir. What was your very first kayak?
First kayak I owned was a bona fide SS 127.
SS1, you heard it, people. First kayak you owned was SS 127. Pretty good kayak. I like it. That's what kayak. I actually fish out of right now.
Yep, me too.
So, are you still fish out of the 127?
Yeah, I did make a switch to the Slayer Max for a season and back in the 127 this year.
Okay. Yeah. What's your favorite feature of the 127?
I like organization and compartmentalizing things, and that has to be like the overarching thing. But I guess my favorite feature is the dry pod. I love having my fish finder right there in front of me, whether I'm standing or sitting. It's perfectly positioned. All of the cables, everything is all confined. My transducer's right there. That's got to be my favorite feature of it.
So I'm gonna take a stab in the dark here. Are you a Hondo guy?
A Hondo guy? No.
No. Okay.
Look at the jersey, man.
Oh, you got the red line.
Everything about what I do is red and black anymore. So yes.
Oh, so it's either the red line or the what's the Spider-Man one?
Oh yeah.
Black Widow.
Yeah, I did not do the Black Widow. Now, Alan Reed, one of the guys on our team, he does have a Black Widow. But no, I did not do that. I originally had the Top Gun Gray, which I love that color. But everything now I do is red and black.
Got you. Yeah, Alan Reed, man. If you guys don't know Alan Reed, if you paid attention to the KBF National Championship this past year, he's the guy who caught, what was it, 25 and a half, or was it just straight 25 inches?
I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it was the big bass. It was 25. Yeah,
he caught the big bass in the national championship, and I think it was on a buzz bait, if I remember correctly, or a buzz frog, something like that.
It was a buzz bait. Yeah.
Yeah, he put the video out there. It's pretty awesome to see. The fish comes airborne. You know, all of us as kayak fishermen, we know we lose our mind when a fish comes airborne and we see that it's a giant fish. We all forget how to fish, and it's like we don't know what to do. But no.
Yeah, and then apparently he just decided to stop fishing after that. Caught one big fish and was like, I'm going to move to Florida and watch rocket launches and cook brats and not fish. So
well, I hope he still fishes. You got him on the squad, man.
He's definitely still fishing. He did move to Florida after the start of KFL and all that. But he is like I said, he's at the Bassmaster Classic right now practicing for that event. So excited for him and Mike and Jason as they're down there fishing. I just had to give him a hard time.
So Sam, man, tell me when the whole idea of the KFL came about, man, what were your thoughts?
Man, here's the thing. So like I said, I met Chad at the very beginning of all of this. And it's always exciting to see, these new things come about and be on the forefront of things, if you will. I remember being at the first, speaking of the Bassmaster stuff, I remember being at the first ever Bassmaster kayak tournament. And the atmosphere is just electric before that event, during the event, after the event. Those guys are feeling that same thing now at the Classic. This year, I can imagine I wasn't there for the beginning of the Hobie stuff, but I can imagine that's what it was like. I was a part of the first KBF Pro Tour stuff, and I know what that felt like, and so for me, this was just that next thing, right? And it was just exciting to have an opportunity to be a part of something at the very beginning stages of it. Not knowing exactly where it would go, but having a good idea of where we think it can go. That was all pretty cool to me, and it was a big reason that I wanted to be a part of it. I'm also very, very proud of the community that we have here in the state of Indiana and the anglers. It is the reason that I've started Huger Kayak Bass and the organization that I run. And so it was important for me to make sure that Indiana was represented really well. And I thought with everything that I have going on that I was pretty well fit to organize that and put this team together and get some great guys a part of it. So, yeah, man, that's kind of really what it was about, being a part of something at the very beginning of it, experiencing that, while also making sure that Indiana and our anglers are represented well in every league there is across the sport of kayak fishing.
Yeah, man. I mean, very well put, man. That's one of the things that excite me about it, is the fact that this is the beginning of something.
Yeah.
Everybody who's in the league right now, everybody who's on a team, everybody who has something to do with the KFL is a part of something special, because you're part of something that was just created, and it's the very first. And it's up to all of us, the anglers, everybody in the, behind the scenes, up to all of us to make it a success, to make it as big or take it to where the heights we believe or we think it can go.
Yeah.
So, Sam, tell me about your fishing, man. What kind of fisherman are you? A power fisherman, finesse fisherman? You don't put yourself in a box. What you got?
I think my fishing styles have definitely morphed over the years. I spent a lot of time as a co-angler. I spent a little bit of time as a boater. Most of my fishing style, I think, comes from my time in Arizona. Really, I spent a little time in Arizona fishing, and I learned a lot out there on a very short period of time. But I mean, it's always adapting. But I would say my biggest thing is kind of that offshore fishing, and using my electronics. I can finesse fish a little bit. I do enjoy power fishing. I'm not a cranker by any means. I don't like throwing anything with trebles too much, but I will if I need to. I'll try it on if I need to. But I would say I'm more of that kind of offshore type angler.
So are you motorized on your SS-127?
Yeah, XI3 on the front.
Wow, okay. When you said offshore, I'm like, man, I tried offshore at the national championship before I got my XI3. I had a Torpedo at the time, and it was tough. I have a 127 as well. It was just tough, to say the least, to try to stay on one spot and make the same exact cast when the wind's blowing, 15 miles per hour.
Definitely a struggle, absolutely.
But the XI3 will hold you in spot, people. We are not sponsored by a Motor Guide, but I'll tell you what, I love that thing.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, you can do it with Minn Kota too, easily. But the XI3 was the route that I went, and I really enjoy it.
Okay. So could you tell us who if any others, your team sponsors are, and maybe who your personal sponsors are?
Yeah, so TRC Covers is our title sponsor. Obviously, we worked with 316 to build these jerseys, and we already kind of talked about their situation. And outside of that, we don't have any sponsors for the Knights, but we're super appreciative of TRC, and they're doing big things for us and making it all possible. So
maybe we'll see some custom Knights covers for the whole team. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, we probably will. This logo would be a little hard to get on the bottom of a cover, but a red and black cover with the Indy Knights on it, totally possible.
Yeah, make it happen. All these other teams will start reaching out and trying to get the same thing. Maybe you guys can be the trendsetters.
Yeah, hit me up. Get it done.
All right, so we're gonna give the floor to another one of your teammates, but before we do that, I would like for you to tell me how you met this teammate and how you approached him about joining the KFL. We're gonna go with Chip.
All right. Well, so starting at the beginning of this, I got a call from a buddy who kind of told me this whole KFL thing was coming to be. Immediately, I called Greg. And talked to him about what my vision was for putting together a team. And through my organization, Hoosier Kayak Bassin, I put out the word. That we were going to be accepting, applications isn't really the right word, but if you were interested in being a part of this, joining and putting your name in the hat. And so I got those names and those individuals, and I don't remember specifically how Chip came into that conversation. But we started a group and we went through a process of talking to people. I think me and Chip had like 3 or 4 calls prior to making the decision. And there was a lot of conversation back and forth with different guys, and finally ultimately got down to a core group of 6. And then as we kind of started working through the rules and the details of the league, we went to the 8-man roster. And that's when Chip was invited to come on to the team. And excited. Chip's going to be traveling with us week 1, as we've got 3 of our other guys in Texas. Chip's going to be traveling with us week 1, and he's actually going to be a huge player in week 1 because we're going to a river system, and all of my guys, especially the ones that are traveling this week, are not necessarily river guys. Chip, however, has grown up fishing on small rivers, still fishes small rivers a lot. So he's going to be our go-to this week. I don't even like moving water unless it's in like a big river, like the TVA or something like that. So I'm leaning on Chip a lot this week, and I'm so thankful that we have him and he's able to be a part of this.
Nice. Hey, so if any Appalachian anglers are watching this, you heard it right here. Chip is the guy you got to sabotage to win this matchup we got coming up.
So here's a little insider. So Chip and me are messaging. Says, "All right, I'm thinking about this particular stretch," and I'm like, Chip, I'm going to take the guys down that stretch because it seems a little lower key. I need you to go hit the advanced stuff. And Chip was a good sport. And he's like, all right, I will do that. So I want the slowest moving water possible.
Gotcha. So Chip, I'm going to take a shot at this. Is it Romanovich?
Yes, sir. Very good.
Oh, look at that. 2 points for me. Hey, what do they call it? What do they call it when people send you money? Those app things. What is it called? My Cash App is. I don't have one right now, but somebody create me one and give me $2 for getting his last name right. But Mr. Romanovich, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So for everybody who doesn't know Mr. Chip Romanovich, and I'll tell you one thing, Chip, I'm hoping that Chip is your actual first name because it's dope. I love it. Chip Romanovich, that's a great name.
Thank you.
I feel like you're going to be famous.
Yeah, I hope
if
so.
not already famous. You're already famous. You're the best river guy we got.
And win the championship. He'll be right there with the rest.
There you go.
Mr. Jared Brown calls you Moonshine Chip. I don't know. Maybe you know him, and that's an inside thing, but I don't know. Moonshine Chip. Got it. So, Chip, how you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How where you from? How you got into kayak fishing? What are you fishing out of? Or what was your first kayak, and why'd you change? Whatever you got for us.
All right. First of all, thanks for having us on. It's a real pleasure. I've been fishing, like everyone, like Sam says, since I was a kid. Grew up, born and raised in Indianapolis. Now I live in West Lafayette, Indiana, up in Boiler Country, if you're familiar with this area of the state.
I'm not, but I've heard the term Boiler Country before.
Yes. Homer Purdue. And been kayak fishing for about 4 or 5 years now. Started out in a little Pelican. It was a sit on top, but it was not a very steady kayak, and graduated to a Bonafide SS 127 now.
Oh, so we got 2 on the 120. Man, I just became a huge fan of the Indianapolis Knights. I already was a fan of Chip. He's got the dopest name I've heard in the entire league so far. So
now you're in Norfolk, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I spent some time out in Elizabeth City, out your way.
Oh, did you? Did you go chase? Did you go chase some speckled trout when you were here?
I did. A lot of great fishing out there.
Yeah, it is. Yes, sir, it is. All right, so 127 was your first kayak you got?
No, sir. That's the kayak I have now. The Pelican was my first kayak.
Pelican you had. So what were the things that made you say, hey, I got to get rid of this Pelican and get me something better?
Well, going along the river,
I want to be better.
The river fishing lines, my very first kayak tournament was a tournament on the White River in Indianapolis. And I got in the kayak. There was a bunch of guys on the ramp, and I was trying to get out of everybody's way. Didn't really know what I was doing. A couple of quick pumps with the paddle, and I flipped it over, and everything went to the bottom, and I righted it up and got back. Ended up with a pretty good finish, but that was my first experience flipping a kayak in the Pelican.
So you flipped the kayak.
I did.
Righted it, got back into it, kept fishing, and finished pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I think I had a top 10 that day, so it was pretty fun.
That's pretty good, Chip. That's pretty good.
By the way, Indiana Kayak Anglers is the tournament you were fishing in there, Chip, and that's got the best river fishermen in the state in it. So anytime you get a top 10 at an IK event, that means something. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that, Chip.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
If you guys caught the undertones in that, West Virginia Appalachian Anglers, that was Sam Jones letting you know they're coming for real, and Chip's bringing the pain. Chip might just catch 10 20s, and the rest of the team could just go catch a couple of Coors Lights and get some club sandwiches or something. I don't know, chill out while Chip's out there just wrecking them.
I don't think they want to do that.
Oh, hey, man, Chip, you want to catch them all? You catch them all, buddy. If you catch 10 20s, yeah, we'll sit back and watch. I'll just videotape you the whole time.
We'll see if we can do that.
You catch 10 20s, Chip, on your opening matchup against West Virginia Appalachian Anglers, Greg will give you $100.
It's a deal.
I hope he's watching because I just committed him to something. That
you didn't even have 20-inch bass in West Virginia. Is that even a thing?
I don't know, man.
I know zero about West Virginia. I've never been there. I've flown over it. That's about it. And moonshine. Apparently, they like moonshine.
Well, apparently your whole Chip, you're getting a lot of moonshine. Apparently, Jared Brown said he's going to give you a lot of moonshine, and that you're hooking the team up. Hopefully, you don't drink it the night before. All of it the night before.
I think that's what they're trying to do is give us too much moonshine the night before.
Well, they invited us out to the bars, the night before the tournament. And I'm just like, really? We're supposed to celebrate after. Not, no, we appreciate the invite. We did.
So what color 127 you rocking, Chip?
I have a blue 127.
It's the cool hand blue, the light blue.
I believe it is. Yep.
Hey, that was the first one I bought was the cool hand blue.
It's pretty faded now. It's like baby blue.
I mean,
it is. It still looks good.
It does.
Because he puts a lot of time on the water in it. That's why
he does.
Catching all those fish. Now, Indy, you guys have a pretty good smallmouth fishery, right?
We do. Up where I am, especially, there's the Tippecanoe River and the Wabash River, and there's some good small creeks around here as well.
Okay, so apparently the Elk River is a big smallmouth fishery, so that's what you guys are going to be looking at in your first matchup. And I'm pretty sure when I look at the schedule, that's what they have you guys down for is the Elk River.
Yeah.
In your first matchup. You look forward to that, Chip?
I am. It's going to be fun to get out there and float down, and hopefully we'll do pretty well.
So now, will you guys get any opportunities to get up there and do some pre-fishing? Or no?
We will. I think we're going to head up there, and we'll have a good day on Friday, I believe. We'll be pretty much dedicated to pre-fishing. So.
Got you. Have you guys been able to hit the water together as a team yet and work out some logistics of all that?
We have. Do you want to talk to that, Sam? Or
yeah, sure. So actually, over Memorial Weekend, we took a team trip. Those of us that can make it, which is most of us, up to our home waters. And in fact, none of us had ever seen our home waters before. It was our first time on the lake, except for Mike Elsey. He did grow up in that part of the state and had spent some time up on that lake. It's been a long time since he'd been out there, but we went and checked it out, and I am so excited for our home games this season. They're going to be a lot of fun. We were out there as a team, never had seen the water before, and I think like first cast, guys were ripping into good fish. We fished several different areas in the lake, and we're able to catch them everywhere we went on several different patterns. So it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good challenge, and it's just going to be a great tournament venue. There's plenty of places to hang out and eat, and experience the little town of Rochester there, which is really cool. Cell phone service is great all across the lake. We had no issues with that either, which is one of the reasons that we ended up fishing Lake Manitou. Here in the state of Indiana, we have plenty of great fisheries to choose from, but cell phone signal is definitely a challenge on 90% of them. So
yeah, that was a question I was just about to bring up. So did you guys come up with a way to combat the obstacle of a not very good cell phone signal when you're contact? I would think in this format, because it's a team thing, that the communication aspect is going to be huge between your teammates.
Well, communication is a big part of it, but obviously this is a live streamed event. Just like this show right here, we're going to be doing this, but on the water for our game. So just having adequate signal for that is the biggest challenge outside of communication. So for us, there's really a couple places to choose from. There was the White River in Indianapolis and Geist Lake in Indianapolis. We would have loved to have done the White River, but it's just too volatile to really do that. Geist would have been an amazing option, and we tried really hard to work something out with them, but in the end, unfortunately, we weren't able to. They have pretty stiff boat launch fees, up to $40.
Wow.
There was no way that I was going to ask a team of 6 or more guys to come in and pay that for a day or two of fishing per boat. It's per vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah. So that left us really with having to look north. And Lake Manitou, our home lake, is smack dab in the middle of a town called Rochester, and provided us with everything we needed. Plenty of amenities, places to stay, food, and then great cell phone coverage.
Gotcha.
And good fishing. You gotta have good fishing.
Yeah, you got to have good fishing. That's what this league is all about, right?
Yep, exactly.
Showcasing all these anglers that not everybody has heard of, not everybody knows of, and we're going to introduce you to these guys. We're going to have them live on air in the middle of their matches. We're going to be talking to them, hopefully not distracting them, but getting talk to them, picking their brains. Excuse me. Just bringing the action to everybody in their living room, right? All you guys and gals with these 70, 80-inch flat screen TVs, you're going to watch Chip pull in all these 20-inch smallmouths.
I love this. I love the mojo we're putting here. We're just putting it out there in the universe, and it's going to come back and hit us right on Saturday. I love it.
Absolutely. So Chip, since you're my river rat, let's talk real quick. What is tough day? What is Chip reaching for to get that bite?
You can never go wrong
on a Carolina rig. Whopper plopper on a Carolina rig.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, there you go. Whopper plopper on a Carolina rig. What is that? Is that like a 2-ounce egg sinker or?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to get it down.
You got to get it down.
Yeah,
it's got to plop.
Exactly.
On the bottom.
You can never go wrong with a Ned rig or a small jig or something like that. I don't want to give away too many secrets now.
Come on, Chip. Did you not catch it before I brought you guys on? I was like, I'm gonna try to get him to give away some secrets for everybody's listening.
I didn't get secrets from the Appalachian anglers.
Well, did you watch the interview? Those guys were tight-lipped. They were on it. I think they were coached up prior to the interview. Like, hey,
that's what I'm saying.
We're not going to talk about anything about how we fish. Everything is a wacky rig jerk bait. That's what we fish all the time.
No.
You're right. They didn't give up a thing.
Nothing.
I'm sitting here trying to get intel for myself, for my team. I want to get some intel. We make the playoffs, we might have to face you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking, man.
We'll take care of that for you. Don't worry.
But not really. I'm serious. I want you guys to give me some secrets. Chip, I'm not a river fisherman. I need something, man. Help me out.
After Saturday, I'll tell you everything we did.
I like it. After Saturday, I get everything. So you like a Ned rig, man? I cannot. So, I'm a jig fisherman. I'm a Texas rig fisherman. But those are my confidence things. I have in the last 3 years, I've tried to become a very versatile fisherman and figure out all these other different techniques. And the Ned rig is just something I can't get on board with. Every time I throw it, I catch every limb there is in the bottom of the ocean, bottom of the lake. I catch every rock. It's just a money pit for me. I don't know how you fish it. I don't know how you do it.
It's a fabulous bait, but you'd be surprised at how many big fish it catches. I mean, you don't catch a bunch of dinks. There are big fish.
I'm not surprised by it at all because I've seen it. I've seen the 8-pounders with a bait this big, just hooked right up in there. And I'm just like, well, that's awesome. You caught that. I'm not throwing that. Right? I'm not going to do it because I would skin hook the world's smallest twig, but it won't break off and I'll break my line.
No, they're fun. They're fun to use.
Yeah. And so would you say you're a big on spinning gear?
Yes. I like spinning rods. When I'm not doing a river and I'm a bigger body of water, I'm a very slow fisherman. Texas rig stuff on the bottom, shallow water. So that's really what I enjoy.
Okay. That's really what you enjoyed. Did you guys write it? You writing it down? That's what you enjoyed. You heard it. All right. I got something, so you can't be mad at me. I got something out of Chip. He gave up a little bit. So when Sam approached you about the KFL and joining the team, what did you think of the whole thought of the KFL?
I was very excited by it. I think it's a great opportunity for kayak fishing. I think it'll put a great spotlight on kayak fishing. Like Sam said, the guys on our team they're just phenomenal. And I think just to be associated with Sam and the rest of the guys and be part of this from the beginning was too great an opportunity to pass up. I was pretty excited when he decided to invite me in.
Nice, sweet, awesome, man. I'm glad he did, man, because like I already said, you have the best name out of everyone. Okay? And so far, I'm digging the vibe from the whole team. All you guys seem super confident, which I like. I love confidence. Justin Staley's up there, he's chewing at the bits like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And he looks like he might be your team's trash talker. Am I right or am I wrong? Sam smiled, actually. So am I right, Justin?
Maybe just a little, not too much. It's more of a, if I know you personally, you're really going to get it, but to not know you, yeah, it's a little more subtle.
Okay, well, we're gonna once we get through these interviews, we're gonna try to get into a little bit of digging in and get some trash talk out of you guys. Real quick, everybody who's watching, I would really appreciate it if all of you would hit that share button, share the feed, and get this out there to everyone. We want everybody to meet the Indianapolis Knights as well as everybody who's watching. So hit that share button, hit that like button, and let's get it out there. If you have questions yourselves, give them to us in the comments, man, so I can get the questions to the team. We can get them answered to you. You have some Jared has already told you he's going to try to get Chip drunk, I guess, because you guys gave it away that Chip is the river rat, he's the river king. So Jared is dead set on giving you guys moonshine that looks exactly and smells like water. I don't know. Apparently, Jared's got the secret to that moonshine. It is West Virginia. So all the movies I've seen, West Virginia was one of the hot spots for moonshine.
We'll bring our own bottled water, though.
It's just like you're going to Tijuana, right? You take your own bottled water with you. We're not drinking anything from the tap or that you give us.
Heck no.
I like it. You go to Applebee's, you pull out your lunchbox, and you got all your food with you. No, I don't trust you guys. Everybody in here has on a West Virginia shirt or something, West Virginia Appalachian Angler shirt or hat. So Chet, man, what lake or what matchup have you circled? Maybe because of the team, or maybe because of the lake. Which one have you circled to be like you're really excited for? Or river, I should say.
Well, no. I'm actually looking forward to this first one. It'll be great to be on the water and help out the team however I can. And rivers are fun, even if you're not super familiar with them. They're a lot of fun. So you have a lot of different variety in what you're going to encounter down the river, and a lot of different styles you can fish. So this first week should be a lot of fun.
Okay. So he's looking forward to this first week, the inaugural opening game. And you guys can find it, the Indianapolis Knights against the West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. It will be live cast. And is this a morning game or afternoon game? Morning game. So 6 to 1, correct? 6 to.
Yeah, we only have, I think, one evening game on our schedule for this season, which that'll be a fun little switch up in the season, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. This is at this moment, it is a summer league, so having that morning matchup is super important.
It is. Yeah. I do really enjoy evening fishing, nighttime fishing, though, personally. So that's what makes me kind of excited about that. Kind of grew up fishing that way. We do need to get back to Justin, but I do see a question here that we need to get to real quick.
I was going to bring it up. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This question right here?
Yeah, this question right here. Like, first off, what I just found out today where we're going.
So let me translate for him. What the expletive? That's for you, Matt Linsman.
Yeah, I mean, we have a team called the Motor City Ambassadors, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Detroit. And they're taking me all the way up to northern Michigan to fish some weird little shallow pond when we could be fishing St. Clair. I mean,
Mr. Linsman, can you respond to that in the comments, because that is a very great point.
What? Why? I mean, first off, like your odds were better with smallmouth against my team because we primarily fish for largemouth.
Matt, is it really 9,000 acres? That's pretty big.
It is. It's 9,000 acres. I literally found this out prior to coming on the show and started doing some research. So to answer your question, I've got about 30 minutes of research in and about 30 minutes of just being really upset and thinking about crying myself to sleep tonight, because we were all just assumed we're going to Lake St. Clair.
That's what I would have assumed.
And we're not.
So Mr. Linsman is not going to Lake St. Clair, saying that you're afraid that on a really good fishery that this team can take you out.
Oh, that's totally what it is. Hold on,
Mr. Jones. I thought you said Justin Staley was my trash talker here. I was waiting for Justin to be like, yes, sir. That's exactly what it is. Sam's like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, well, typically it would be. I normally wouldn't do much trash talk.
I think what this means is that you're actually upset about this.
I like
genuinely upset.
Genuinely am upset about this. Like, why would we not go to Lake St. Clair? Like,
Okay.
But anyway, I'm not crying because I want to go to St. Clair so bad.
I know it. Part of this whole thing is being able to fish some of these lakes that are on the bucket list that you've never fished, man. So Matt Linsman, why are you choosing Grandpa Jim's backyard pond that's bigger than every lake in the state with 17 bass in it to fish on? Why are you choosing that?
I don't get it. But we'll go there and we're gonna catch big bass, and win that tournament, and come on home.
There you go. And Matt Linsman, you can't be putting sea bass on the bump board, man. Those don't count. All right. All right, Chip. Hey, before we move on to another one of your teammates, man, you got anything else you want to say before we move on and introduce another one of your teammates?
No, we've got a great group of guys, and I'm ready to hear what they have to say.
Gotcha. I'm really excited because Sam has brought some angst tonight, and I like it. I like it. Matthew Linseman, you upset Sam as well as the rest of the team. Chip has just got a really good Hollywood face, so you don't see all the angst in his face right now. He's just gonna smile and catch those 20s. All right, so Chip, we're gonna move on to Mr. We're gonna get Mr. Cassidy while we got some service with him. Right, Mr. Cassidy's actually down in Possum Kingdom fishing for what is it, 20K for first place down in
20,000.
20K. Hey man, if you win, can I get $1? Can you give me $1?
Yeah, man, I got 5 on it. I got you.
You heard it here. He says he's gonna give me 5.
5.
He didn't say dollars or 100 or 1,000. So we're hoping for the latter, which is thousands.
Yeah. If I win, I'm a charitable guy. I'll give it all away. I don't really.
Well, no, I wouldn't actually. If you offered me $5,000, I would not take it. Are you married?
I am. Well, I have a significant other.
I'm not trying to have your significant other hunt me down and be like, you took advantage of him because he's a nice guy. I'm like, you're right, but I didn't take the money, so you ain't got to kill me.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, if Jason wins 20K this week, the Knights are going to be staying in the Ritz at every tournament.
I was just about to say the Knights are going to have the best setup for every matchup.
We'd be large. We'd be living large.
Living large.
So how was your day on the water today, Jason?
Not good today, actually. I put in at a different ramp, and I got about 13 miles on my Apple Watch today, so we got a big storm this morning. I mean, it was bad. We got a few inches of rain within a couple hours, and it was already pretty muddy, like that Red River type, if you've ever fished down south. Not chocolate milk. It was like strawberry milk.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like me and Sam washed our hair in the river, and all of our color ran out into it. It looked terrible. But I pedaled all the way back to where I fished yesterday and found some cleaner water and did all right. So,
okay. So where are you originally from?
Indianapolis. Originally from Fountain Square. And now I live on the south side of Indy and town of Greenwood. So
I don't really know much about Indianapolis, but is Indy big on like a lot of rivers, a lot of lakes, or a little bit of both? What?
Man, Indiana as a whole really doesn't have a whole lot of water. Like the number of acres per fisherman, I think in Indiana is one of the lowest. I mean, we hungry for fishable, lakes. So every lake in Indiana is heavily pressured. So whether it's a pond or a river or a creek or a lake, they're just hammered. I mean, so you got to think outside the box every time you go to the water. I think that's why you got guys like Jacob Wheeler, Bill Lowen, who just won his first elite event, Bill McDonald on the FLW Tour side.
Huge fan of Bill Lowen, man. I love Bill Lowen.
Yeah, Dollar Bill
Williams.
Yeah. And these guys are so good because their training ground is most people's worst nightmare. You're fishing behind a train of boats. So if you don't think outside the box or you don't try something different, you're gonna ride that skunk bus, and that's why Indiana guys are so good, and that's why everybody in the KFL needs to be very assured of what's going to come into town, because we know how to we just flat out know how to fish. We got a national champion on our team because he flat knows how to fish.
We're learning right here that Justin Staley is not the only trash talker on this team. And I like it.
Hey, it ain't trash day, man. This is Monday. Trash day's on Thursday, okay?
Well, you know what? These are just facts days.
These are just facts.
Justin
Indiana
Staley
guys
is
don't
a
have-
trash talker, and Sam Jones and Mr. Jason Cassidy are the facts talkers. That sounds a lot like trash, so it's trash facts talkers.
Yeah, we
But I like
talk
it.
a lot of smack.
I like
It's
it.
all fun.
Hey,
Now,
he's not on the show, so I just want to make sure everyone heard that.
No,
Mike
that's I was
Kelsey-
bringing that up. I was bringing
Mike
that up.
Kelsey, national champion. Oh, and also he's the first ever state champion too. By the way,
I was just about to bring that up, sir. You beat me to it. So you heard it here. You heard him,
Just
Mr.
saying.
Elsie.
Who else has got a national champion on your team? Speak up. Raise your hand.
If you talk to the
Massachusetts, they change their logo every day. What's that kid's name? The Maulers. They got a good
Mass
squad.
Maulers.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they do have a national champion on their
they
team.
got
and
it.
then
They got it. They got a champion
got
on
a-
their squad.
I think they got a
expect
couple.
them to win
Didn't Ken Wood win one?
that.
Yeah, they're not in our division though.
Oh, I know. I mean, they got Kenwood. They got a Triple Crown winner who just won the last one, Mr. I caught myself. The sailor mouth almost came out. Mr. Connett. They got Dave and Buster's. Man, they got a nice squad, but
They're not a good squad.
But the great thing, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna give you guys a dive into at least Robert Brown's psyche, aka Jigmaster. I'm not fishing against Sam Jones or Justin Staley or any man. I'm fishing against that green fish and that brown fish. So I don't care how good you are or how good your team is. It's how good I am at catching the fish in that lake. And I feel like the better than average fishermen, which I think we have in general in the KFL, understands it's not about who's on the other team. It's about what you can do in that water, in that boat, in that kayak with your rod and reel. Look at Chip's face. Chip's like Hollywood face, Hollywood Chip, Hollywood Chip. I just gave you your nickname.
All joking and fact talking and trash talking aside, it is very impressive how many high caliber anglers there are in this league. For its first season, it's very impressive to see the talent from across various different platforms, whether it be the KBBT stuff, Hobie, KBF. We just mentioned a bunch of the guys out there east, but then also there's a lot of guys never even heard their names.
That's what excites me,
and that's what really
what excites me.
A lot of guys get an opportunity to make a name for themselves that otherwise maybe wouldn't have.
Like, I'll tell you, I'll be 100% honest. You can take it how you want because I don't mean it in a negative way. I'd never heard of Justin Staley. I'd never heard of Jason Cassidy, Chip Romanovich. I'd never heard of you guys. But now, as you guys are talking, you guys are actually talking about each other, I'm getting excited. I've been excited, period, because I love the guy that you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I am the guy that you don't know. So, and I feel like I'm a pretty decent fisherman. For every Jacob Willer, there's probably 5 or 10 guys that are not Jacob Willer, but are just as good or maybe better. You never know.
You know where Jacob Willer's from?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, I do. Jason just let us know. Who else is from Indianapolis?
Bill Lowe.
Bill. There you go.
Well, he's actually from Brookville.
Yeah.
But we've got some anglers that hail from the Hoosier State. So
what was the first yak you fished out of, Jason?
I had a Perception Pescador Pilot 12.
Pilot. I would assume that means it had a pedal drive.
Pedal drive, yeah. I actually still have it. I don't use it much at all. It's a kind of a friend boat.
How'd you acquire it?
Bought it.
You just bought it. So you just decided one day you're going to go get into the kayak fishing thing? Or how'd you decide to get into kayak fishing?
I just seen it on the YouTubes,
Was it Chad?
That looks like really fun. That's a good
Was it
time.
Chad? Did you see Chad's what was it? Just the kayak bass fishing show he had on YouTube.
It actually might have been Chad Hoover. Might have been the first one I saw. doing the kayak bass fishing deal, and I'm like, man, it's such an affordable way to get out on the water and get off the bank. And then when they started talking about having these tournaments, I was like, getting rid of my bass boat was an easy decision because that thing is a money pit. Anybody that's ever owned a boat knows they're horribly expensive to maintain, to buy.
Yes, sir.
And you can have all the fun and a lot less of the hassle, and a lot of aspects outside of the running and gunning part. I think a nice advantage by being able to get into the little nooks and crannies that you can't get in a glitter boat. So
yeah, so that's exactly what I was about to say, man. I came from the bass boat world. I went bass boat before I went kayak, and it's like you said, it's a money pit. Everybody knows what boat stands for. I'm not even going to say it. But it's a money thing, and I actually have more fun fishing out of my kayak than I ever did out of my bass boat.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems fishing out, especially if you're fishing out of a paddle kayak without a motor. It's like when you're trying to fight a fish, especially a big fish. You're trying to fight a big fish, and when you set the hook on a big fish, it kind of moves your kayak. So when you're trying to fight this fish, you're trying to back paddle at the same time as you're trying to fight this fish with one hand and trying to paddle with the other hand, and it's nerve wracking, but it's so much fun. And then another fun part that most people don't talk about is modding. Fixing your kayak to who you are as an angler, how you want it.
Right.
So, so that Pilot was your first kayak. What are you in now?
Right now, I'm in a Bite FD from Jackson. I've sampled just about every kayak on the market. Sam will attest to it. I've been through a few, just trying to find that perfect platform, and I still haven't found it. I think Jackson makes a nice kayak, and it suits my needs just fine. But yeah, I had a Kaku, the Voodoo. No, it wasn't. It was a Zulu. It was close. It was close to the perfect kayak. It was almost like a big paddleboard. But they got the best seat in the game. If you haven't checked it out, it's definitely it's a nice seat, nice platform. But it turns like a '69 Cadillac.
Hey.
Nobody has seen that kayak, man. Nobody. You're the only person in the world that's ever been on that thing.
I was just about to say, could you say it again so everybody can hear what kayak you're talking about? Because I don't think I know it.
Kaku Zulu. Kevin makes them down in just south of Tampa, Florida. Small American company. It's a great boat. I've got the only issue I had with it is I couldn't get it to turn, but he's got a new rudder. He just 3D printing, so maybe they've fixed that up. So Kevin, if you're listening, I love your boat. I couldn't turn it. So
so a Kaku Zulu. Are you sure that's what it's called, or are you just making you jonesing with us right now?
Zulu. Yeah, they make the Zulu. They have a Voodoo. Those are both their fishing kayaks. But yeah, they're big down in the southeast.
Okay. So why'd you go from the Pilot? Well, I mean, it sounds like you've won a couple different ones in between the Pilot and the Bite. Jackson Bite is what you have now, right?
I had the Titan 13.5, which is a beast of a boat. I loved it, but I didn't like the hump in the middle. I wanted more of an open deck. Plus, my feet were always wet.
Now, have you looked at New Canoe at all? Because they have a super open deck
for about 8 weeks. Super fast boat.
8 weeks, huh?
Yeah, it was super fast. One of the fastest boats I've had. But that initial stability just left. It was there secondary, but the initial it was kind of tippy. So I was like,
I got you. And that's one thing that a lot of people getting into kayak fishing or just kayaking don't understand the difference between initial stability and the secondary stability.
Yeah.
That initial stability will scare the hell out of you if you don't understand what the initial and secondary stability is.
Yeah, it'll grab. I mean, it'll stick, but it just, I don't know. I get like in a zone sometimes, and I kind of forget that I'm in a piece of Tupperware, and I need to have that initial stability there for my reassurance whenever I stick my big old noggin over the gunnel.
So, dude, let me give you a true story. It just happened the day before yesterday to me. I was out fishing on a lake. I mean, this lake is only like 4 feet deep at its deepest point, but it's a little high right now. So anyway, I was fishing and it's all cypress trees, and I'm pitched up on a cypress tree, and I got hammered. I set the hook right into one of the cypress knees, right? So, and I got an XI3, so I'm positioning the boat, get as close to it as I can, and I'm using one hand to reel down to try to get down to my jig so I can push it off of the knee. Well, I don't know what happened, but I dropped the rod in the water, right? And this wasn't like a rod that I was willing, or a setup I was willing to just say goodbye to. Well, the handle's a little corked, so when I dropped it in the water, the handle was still up near the surface, and I just stuck my hand in, dude, like down to like right here. And you know, if you're sticking your hand in that much, your head's over the side of the gunnels, right? And the boat, like, I got a 127. The boat comes up and it's in like a 35, 40 degree angle. And when I realize I'm in this 35, 40 degree angle, I'm like, well, do I really want to break every other rod trying to get this one rod? So I have this one, but all of the other ones will be broken. But the secondary stability just threw me back. So if you don't understand the difference between primary and secondary, think of primary stability as the boat feeling tippy. So if you're in the boat and it feels like there's no stability there, like it just feels tippy. But like when you freak out and you actually throw your weight to the side and that boat kind of shoots you back to the other side, it's like that's secondary stability. So I understand your ambivalence about it, man. Like primary and secondary, there's a lot of boats out there with great secondary stability, but iffy primary, or vice versa.
Right.
So would you say that's why you're in the bite now? Is for the
it's definitely got the initial stability. It's there's nothing to it. I mean, it is the most plain, boring boat. There's not a hatch. There's no hull access. It's just simple. I feel like it's a go-kart. It's very, nifty and shifty on the water. It's not the fastest boat. It goes about 4 miles an hour when I'm hustling. But it's just a big old open deck, and I run it into stuff, and it just takes a beating and keeps going, and I feel like it's my little ATV.
So do you want that open deck feel because you stand and fish a lot?
Yes, and I don't like to have clutter, and for whatever weird reason, I like my hog trough or my catch board to lie flat. I don't like having the hump in the middle. I don't like having something in between my feet. I just like, I don't know, I'm just weird, and that's probably a boat thing coming from a bass boat. I just like to have that open area. Maybe, I don't know. It's not like I'm walking around on it, but if I want to, I want that option, I guess. It just feels good.
I understand that. Man knows what he wants. I'm peeping the hat, right? So does that mean that you were at the NC?
I was.
You were.
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
Did y'all
Sorry,
hear
that was my dog. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, that was the ghost in the system. Like, I don't know what just happened.
What? I'm gonna let her outside real quick. Excuse me.
It was funny because none of you reacted. Everybody was just like,
we didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, like what the HE double hockey stick was that?
Right,
man. So how'd you like Gunnersville? Was that your first time fishing it?
It was my first time in Gunnersville. Surprisingly, I love the Tennessee River. It usually suits my style of fishing pretty well, and it was a really cool trip.
So we just gonna roll right into it. What's your style of fishing?
I would say it's a power finesse.
That reminds me of Jim. You know who Jim Louvier is? He's a Texas guy. When you say power finesse, that reminds me a lot of him.
Yeah.
So do you throw the power shot at all?
No, I haven't. I just I like jig fishing. I just downsize it.
Gotcha.
And most people don't throw it, but I learned it as a co-angler years back. The Mojo rig, it's basically a downsized Carolina rig, So if you're not throwing it, you probably should try it.
Don't be Googling what the Mojo rig is.
Let's talk about the Mojo rig. You know what I love about the Mojo rig?
Split shot rig, Mojo rig, call it what you want, but people joke around all the time about their Carolina buzzbait, but I try some stupid stuff, and you'd be surprised what catches fish.
No, realistically, man, here in Norfolk, people actually do a Carolina rig jerkbait. I'm just being for real. That's a real thing here. And it's usually old timers, and they catch fish on it. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna throw it. But it's crazy. They catch big bass on it. But it's like they throw it out there and they let it sit there and they smoke a cigarette. They tell two fishing stories, everything else, and then they move it 2 inches and then they just repeat. And I'm just like, well,
that's 2 Pall Malls and 1 Coors per turn on the reel.
Exactly. I'm not about that life. That's like I probably get 10 casts in 1 fishing trip. I'm good. Oh, yeah. I'm okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have lung disease and heart failure before you get 1 cast.
That is very true. Very true. You better smoke a whole pack before you get 2 casts in.
Right.
So power finesse is what you'd say you are. So on your toughest day, I'm talking about you're in a tournament. It is noon 30, and you have 1 fish, and you need to get those other 4 fish in the boat before 2. What we throw on?
Depending on the weather conditions, I would actually threw it today and caught some fish. So if you're listening and you're down here, MEPS. Inline spinner, because you can control the heck out of that thing, and it's something that they don't see every day anymore, except from a Zepco 303 that the kid that I stole it from, but yeah, little bucktail guy, gold number 3 is what I think I threw today, and I caught some good fish on him today. Matter of fact. It's a confidence.
For you people down there, Possum Kingdom, who are listening or watching, is he telling you what actually he caught him on, or is he sending you on a wild goose chase? You will never know. Look at that face.
Put some split shot in front of it and let me know how it works out.
Some split shots, man. Listen, we got some millennials in here, man. These people probably don't even know what split shots are. Right?
Yeah, you got to master with your teeth. That's back. I think I got some that's still made of lead for you Cali folk out there.
Oh, I definitely still have some. I like it for you Cali folk. I like it.
Yeah. Everything causes cancer in California.
You're right about that. You can't snap pictures with your Samsung. You're gonna get cancer. Right?
Right. Proposition something. You can't do nothing.
I'm so mad right now. Like I'm so mad you're missing week 1, dude. Like
oh man. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm excited to get the season started. I'm super pumped for the guys to go over to West Virginia and put a herd into them, and I think they've got one of the tougher playing fields that we'll be going up against. But we've got such a good group of people, good God-fearing fishermen that they don't quit, and that's what people need to be afraid of. There ain't no quitting this group.
So James wants you to know something. I'm gonna put the comment up there.
Texas fish see that a lot.
Hey, and that's the guy who I just like. You remind me of Jim. He said they see that a lot. I don't know. I know
Maybe
Jim
they do.
Jim Louvier is the guy who says that a 22 it's not, it's just a common fish. There's not much to him.
Yeah,
But, that's because those boys and girls down in Texas are spoiled.
yeah, yeah.
Something else down there.
Tell them to go fish the Delaware River and put out 22. I'll be super impressed. Actually, I think the whole world would be super impressed. You put out 22 out of the Delaware River.
Heck yeah.
So, so Jason, man, would it be fair to say that you're not really sold to any one kayak brand right now or nothing like
No,
that?
not right now. I can be bought. You know what I mean?
Jason's for sale sponsors out there. He can be bought.
If you read my Attorney X profile under the sponsors link, it says the space is for rent. So, I've got Rogue Disc. Anybody that ever plays frisbee golf, they hooked my nonprofit up, which is a float. They dumped a bunch of money to us to let us take a bunch of families out and do some fishing and camping and hiking with them. And
is that what a float is? Taking families?
It stands for Family Life Outdoors, achieves togetherness, and we take families hiking, fishing, camping, boating, anything. Sam actually came out and helped out with it. We had a kids fishing tournament. We had 30 kids come out, some of which have never caught a fish. And shockingly, every single kid at that event caught a fish. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
multiple fish.
It was crazy. And that look, I mean, you get to see the look on someone's face when they set the hook and that rod bends for the first time. Man, it was amazing. We sent them all home with rods and reels and some tackle, and it was
awesome.
It was a really good time. And but yeah, thanks to Rogue Disc. So if you play frisbee golf, you take your family outdoors at all, go to roguedisc.com. Give them a like, give them a shout.
You heard it, man. Roguedisc.com. Give them a like, give them a shout. Get you some frisbee golf disc.
Yeah.
Another thing before, not that we're trying to get off right now, but I'm saying, Jason, don't let me forget. Before we get off here, I would like you to tell everybody where they can show you some support on a float, or where what your website is, where you're located, all that good stuff. So that sounds awesome, man. Getting the youth out there, getting the families out there, all that, man. It's, bringing people to fishing, bringing people to the outdoors. The one good thing out of COVID is so many people got reintroduced to being outdoors, family outings, all those type of things. If there can be a positive from COVID, that was it.
Amen.
Hey, a quote, my favorite quote from that day, being out there with Jason and the afloat guys and all those kids. And this was prior to catching his first fish. He said, "This might be better than video games."
Dude.
And I was like,
I'm bringing my son to a float.
So
take my son away from what is it called? Fortnite. You build a building so you can stop getting shot at. Makes a lot of sense, right? Somebody shooting a gun at you, you start building a house. That's how we get away from it. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, I'm bringing my son to a float because I need that quote. I need that quote in my life for my son.
I saw, and not to get too off topic, I saw this thing on Facebook the other day. This guy was trying to get his son away from it, so he built all of these different obstacles in the backyard and invited all the neighbor kids over and gave them water guns, and they played real life Fortnite. And now every night he's got these kids coming to his house wanting to do it. So just a thought.
I'm not doing that because of the insurance liability factor of that. If a kid
the HOA wouldn't approve it.
If a kid falls and skins his knee, God, I might lose all my kayaks. I'll be out here, we ain't even gonna get into that. But that sounds like an awesome idea if I had the insurance to cover all those kids. Hey, so Jason, before we move on to Mr. Trash Talker himself, the last guy on the board, but not the least guy on the board. Is there anything else you want to get out before we move on to him and we get into the
super excited to get the season going. Thanks to Greg and our coach Sam for putting this thing together, and I'm really excited to see where it can go. And hopefully take this game to the next level. We're down here trying to do this deal with the Bassmaster Classic, and I think where kayak fishing is on that fringe, that it just needs that little push to get it over the edge, and
100% agree.
it's a lot of the big names are starting to take notice of what kayak fishing has to offer for the industry as a whole, and I think the KFL is going to just push it to the next level. So excited to get it going.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate that. All right. The one everybody's been waiting for, man. He's been up there chomping at the bits, ready to get it in. How you doing, Mr. Staley?
Good. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for your service. I appreciate that. So.
Hey, man, I appreciate all the support, man. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely. Have you on? Come on, man. This ain't a job. This is fun for me. Getting to know all you guys, taking all these notes on what you like to fish and what boats you're in, what they look like, so I can find you when we, go up against each other and poke some holes or something like that. I got some friends who are SEALs. I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I got some guys that are, us Army Special Forces guys. I'm just.
All right. Well, I was just joking, man. I don't have them coming.
Everybody can be in the Navy. Yeah.
Don't have them
We
coming.
just went to a totally different show.
Hey, listen, man. I'm rooting for you guys. All right, so just tell your friends that I'm rooting for you guys. I'd really appreciate that. Hey, I'm not that guy who's like Navy's the best.
Oh, I know.
But I love all my brothers and sisters in armed forces, including the Coast Guard. Anyway, so Mr. Justin Staley, man, tell us about yourself, man. I'm digging the beard first and foremost. I'm digging the beard.
Well, I had to shave it off. I still kind of worked for the government and had that nice COVID N95 mass testing. So.
Yeah, I see your beard, Jason. I dig it too, man. I dig it. All right, you over there, you're battling Mr. Mark Coates for the red beard, right? Is that what it is? Hey, but all you guys are losing to what's his name? I know his name, and I'm having to draw a blank right now. It's terrible. He's got like a 17-foot long beard. You guys know his name. It's gonna come to me later. We ain't gonna talk about it. It's gonna come to me later. So, Mr. Staley, man, tell us about yourself, bro. Tell us who Justin Staley is, and
just like I was a kid, grew up fishing. Both my granddads pretty much really loved fishing, and that was how I got into it. And as I got older, at 18, I left for the Army, and my fishing kind of got put on hold. I lived in Colorado for 5 years while in the military, and then South Alabama for 2. And my bass fishing really got put on hold in Colorado because everything's about trout and fly fishing out there.
I was just about to say, you found bass in Colorado? I'm impressed.
No, not very many. And I moved to South Alabama, and I'm 25 minutes from Lake Eufaula. So kind of fell in love with Alabama bass fishing. You move back to Indiana, and Eufaula, you can throw a shoestring on a hook and catch bass. Indiana happen. Indiana is tough to fish. So I had to change a lot and learn a lot. Last year was my rookie year in the kayak tournament fishing, and it was just hit every tournament I could and spend as much time on the water and learn as fast as I could, as much as I could. So,
what was the first yak?
I had a Ascend, was it FS12T?
Yeah, I know the FS12. That's the one I almost went with.
Yeah.
So, what do you fish out of now?
I've got the New Canoe Unlimited with the Motor Guide XI3.
So, was that your kayak after the FS?
Oh no, not at all. You can ask Sam and Jason. I mean, Jason threw on a little series last year here in Indiana, and the thing was, well, what's Justin going to show up and fish in this week? Because you could literally throw every kayak there is in a hat and pull it out, and I've probably had it. Everything from the SS127 to I've had 3 different Hobie PAs. You name it, I've had it.
Here's the thing, Justin. You got to know something about Justin. This man is the master of the trade up. If it is a kayak trailer, a vehicle, a kayak, whatever it is, this man will get something and then trade up for something double its worth and just keeps on going.
Yeah.
So how do we go from the FS10, or was it 12? You said
12.
12 to the unlimited now,
Let's see.
or should I say why?
Okay, the reason why is I had the Hobie PA 14 and dropped down to the PA 12. At the time, nobody made a bow mount for the PA 12, and I got rid of it and ended up with the New Canoe Pursuit. And I loved the Pursuit. And then right after I get it, New Canoe announces this nice new Unlimited that's the Pursuit on steroids. That's just 6 inches wider. So it's everything that you would want about the Pursuit, but 6 inches wider, more stable.
The unlimited, is that the one that just came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It literally just came out, I think, in March.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted the open deck space like I had with my Hobie, being able to stand, move around, the stability, but have the access to put the XI3 on the front, and have that pinpoint GPS, but be able to have a quick paddling kayak at the same time.
Yeah, I have thoroughly been impressed with the New Canoe line as of the last 6 months. I never looked at New Canoe before, ever, never, because I really like the in-hole storage.
Yeah. After all the different kayaks I've had, I'm stuck with the New Canoe. It touches everything that I would want. Like last weekend, I went and picked up the new gear pod that goes up front. So now I've got that, 4 or 5 cubic feet of storage up front, and it didn't mess up any of my deck space. It tucks in right underneath the motor guide when it's in stowed position. My fish finder mounts right up to it, and I still have that huge open deck space.
So are you like Dave and Buster's and Matt Conant? You take the seat out and use the cooler as a seat?
No, I left the seat in. The cooler, I tried it, and I stand and fish a lot, but at the same time I do sit and fish a lot. So what I did was I took the factory seat and put 3 inches worth of risers on it and did the lock-in 360 swivel. So it sits just as high as the cooler would, but I still got the functionality of having the regular seat. Because I got a 4-year-old and 5-year-old daughter, and I still take them out with me.
Yeah.
And just having that seat, it just makes it a little bit easier. If I'm standing up, they can sit in the seat or whatever and not have to worry about it,
I saw one of the, I'll say, coolest, but for me, it was pretty cool, but I thought to myself, that's scary as hell. I would never do it. But I saw some guys out in saltwater in a place called Rudy Inlet that's right here. And it was a New Canoe. I don't remember which one it was, but they're in a New Canoe, and it was 2 guys. And one was in the front, and one was in the back, and they were both fishing. And it had I want to say it had a trolling motor on it. And I was just like, but that boat's only like 12 feet long.
Yeah, you can put the 2.5 horse like Honda outboard motor on the back of them.
I was like, that's crazy, bro. I was like, that's awesome that you can do that, but I would never do that with anyone. So that was pretty impressive. So Justin Staley he's on New Canoe right now. Not the New Canoe team, or unless you are you with the New Canoe team?
No, I'm not.
But he's letting you guys know firsthand right here that he thinks he's found his forever boat until New Canoe comes out with their upgrade to the Unlimited, or as Sam Jones says, whatever the next upgrade is. But sounds like he's in love with the New Canoe brand. So New Canoe, if you're watching, you're listening, Dave and Buster's, you watching, and are you listening? Maybe we need to bring Justin Staley on. Maybe he needs to come on the team.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's done a lot of things with the boat and figured out what's best and works best for him. Oh no. New Canoe could use another good angler. Especially after I beat you down at Murray, but we're not gonna get into that.
I know.
So
speaking of Murray.
Oh, were you there? Did you go to Lake Murray?
Yeah, and you losing a rod down there, or you losing your rod this week. I have a Curado DC and an amazing rod sitting at the bottom of Lake Murray.
No, it's not at the bottom of Lake Murray anymore.
Oh yeah,
I found it. Thank you for that rod. I appreciate it, sir. I got it before any rust happened or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's I just cleaned it out, re-greased it, and then no, I'm kidding. That sucks, man. How'd you lose it?
I was coming into the boat ramp and I pulled the motor up and went to pull the paddle out. And when I did, I was 30 yards offshore and kicked that rod out. And when it sank to the bottom, it literally sank at just enough of an angle that it kind of slid up underneath of a tree. So me and the guy that traveled down with me and even Sam, we spent hours out there trying to snag it and get it back. And finally I was like, I'm done. I'm over it.
How deep of water was it?
Like 12 feet, 10 feet.
Why didn't you just jump in and grab it?
Water temp was what, 48, 50 degrees at that time? I was like, yeah, it wasn't happening.
Dude, but you're right there at the shore. Like you'd have jumped in, you'd have grabbed that rod.
I should have.
You'd have used the remote to tow you back into shore.
I don't know if jumping in at that time was a smart move though, because they were moving these big pontoons in and out of the ramp and causing wakes. It was a pain in the butt just trying to fix for it.
Last week of February, it was still pretty cold out.
You're right. That was a tough tournament. I ain't gonna lie. Even though you had a few people who caught just good giants. But there was a 25 caught and a 24 or something like that caught as well. Cody caught a 25, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Toughest experience on the water I've had all year fishing. Yeah.
There was a lot of guys.
Did you fish Murray as well, Jay? Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, Murray was tough, man. The water was murky. It was cold. It was tough. So if you caught him there, you got onto some stuff that other people didn't get onto. So new canoe is what we're working with now. What electronics do you run? What fish finder?
Garmin 9.3 with the side view, down image, and all that. So
I have a buddy with that unit. I have a Humminbird Helix 9 something. Yeah, the Helix 9 Mega, and I have a few buddies with the 93 SVU or is it SU, something like that.
Yeah.
That just love it, like absolutely love it. Like I hear that Garmin's side view is really good.
I've been really impressed with it. The only thing that kills me is with that motor guide, the low range hooked up to it. That's the only downfall. But as far as the unit itself goes, I love it. I mean,
so maybe you know this. Do you have the XI3, right? Okay, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of nuggets. So you can record routes.
Yes.
On your remote. You don't need to have the I think Motor Guy links up with Humminbird. No, Low Ranch, right? You don't it doesn't have to be linked up with Low Ranch. You can record the routes.
Yeah.
Up to 8 routes without it being linked up. A lot of people thought that it had to be linked up to the fish finder for you to record routes, but it doesn't. You can record up to 8 routes. I think it's 4 miles on each route, something like that. And it's pretty easy to do. I think the linking up to your fish finder, you can follow a waypoint line, not waypoint line, but a contour line.
Yeah,
which is pretty. I mean, I guess it's pretty dope. I don't know. I've seen some crazy contour lines, so be doing something like this. But did you know that you can just record? You can record it without it being linked up.
Yeah, but my problem is I fish too erratic. I mean, I hop around a lot. I move a lot. I mean, it'd be hard to do it that way, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
But you know,
understood. But a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people didn't know. So if you didn't know, you know now. You can still record your routes on the XI3 without it being linked up to a Low Ranch fish finder. If you have something other than Low Ranch, just YouTube it. It'll give you how to do it, but it's pretty simple. You hit the record button, it starts beeping, recording wherever you go and every turn you make, and then you hit whatever number you want to record it to. So say 1, hit 1 and hold it, and then it'll beep like 3 times, and then you're good to go. So when you want to rerun that route, just hit play and 1, and it'll go whichever side of the route you're on. It'll take you from, if you're at the end, it'll take you from the end to the beginning. So like what I use it for is I record from the ramp out to like, I guess Main Lake or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I do that, and then so when I'm done fishing, I'm headed back home. I just hit play and that number, so it'll take me back to the ramp, and I don't have to deal with anything. I can, tidy up all my lines and get all the plastics that didn't work out of my boat, not out of my boat, but out of the foot of my boat and in a bag or something. You don't you guys act like you don't know what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, especially a tough day, you got a lot of lures sitting in the bottom of that boat.
You gotta get that kitchen sink put away and everything.
Exactly. Look, Chip's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I figure them out. First 10 minutes, I have like maybe 1-2 baits down there.
Yeah.
So, do you loving that XI3? It's pretty dope, man.
Yeah. I really enjoyed when I had the pedal drive, and when I went to that XI3, I mean, it made a huge difference in how I was able to fish, how much farther I can travel, how much more water I can cover. It's made a huge difference, and that spot lock, you can't beat it. You hit the bucket, you know, it changes everything, you know.
Yeah. Big thing for anybody listening, if you get that, you're gonna want a rudder, because if you don't have a rudder and you use the spot lock, because right now I don't have a rudder because everybody's out of plastic and they can't make anything right now.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a rudder, if you have high gunnels and the wind's blowing, it'll still spin the ass of your kayak around, but your spot lock's gonna keep you in your spot. You just may be facing the opposite way of where you want to fish.
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, it works out though, right? Because generally speaking, you're going to be facing into the wind. The bow of the boat's going to be facing into the wind. And that's generally how you want to fish anyway. So
yeah. Generally, you're right.
But there are cases, that it doesn't, and then you're just like trying to figure out how you can sit sideways and cast behind your rods.
That's when that sit on that new canoe comes in handy right there. You just feet around.
See, if New Canoe, if you're listening, he's already putting out he's already putting out nuggets for you guys. Bring Justin Staley on the team.
Hey, he's the reason that I was testing out the new canoe this weekend at my kayak shop demo day. Seen him on the water in that thing. It looks good, dude, and it's definitely a fishy boat. I mean, it's a good boat.
If the thing is though, if you want to be visible, do not get the Army camo, because Sam contests that if you're 100 yards out, I can't be seen, minus the fact that I've got TRC covers sticking up.
It is scary. I mean, we were fishing a small little pond basically with each other the other day, and I couldn't find him, and he was just literally right across from me. It's silly how camouflage that actually is. So if you like to hunt, that's a good boat for you.
Hey, you heard it here. If you like to hunt, get that one right there. I got a lot of friends here who hunt out of their kayaks, which I mean, 10 years ago, you would have never thought somebody would hunt out of a kayak. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody else is naming their kayaks after kayak collars after, the Navy or anything, just throwing that out there. But you do have Army camo. So
Did y'all pick it? So maybe Justin is our shit talker. Maybe that's the case. I like it though. I like it. Well, listen, man. Greatest Navy in the world, by the way.
Yeah.
Greatest Navy in the world. You don't ever hear people say greatest Army in the world, even though it is. It really is.
The Navy's got more planes than the Air Force, right? Just saying.
Not many people know that. Yes, it's crazy. When I joined, I didn't know that, and I found that out. I was like, it makes no sense because we're called the Navy, and that's the Air Force. They should have more planes, but whatever. Anyway, I like Justin, man. Justin, tell me. I want to hear, because I feel like you're the guy who's going to tell me. Whose ass do you really want to kick?
Honestly, just because I lived there for 2 years, the last little bit of the Army career, I really want to put it on Alabama. That lake that we're going to, it's not where I thought we was going to go, but there's still good fish there, and I really want to put it on them. I really do.
So the Alabama Hammers, you're on notice.
Yeah.
Justin Staley and the Indianapolis Knights really want to put it on that behind from Justin Staley. And now we're going to hear from the rest of the team who they really want to whip. And I didn't think Sam Jones would be the guy who would talk some stuff, but I'm excited to find this out now.
Yeah, man, I was looking forward to that Alabama matchup too. I know some of the cats on that team, so I was just looking forward to that for that reason. But because
until
today, because these Detroit ambassadors want to go and make me go all the way to northern Michigan and past one of the greatest fisheries in the world. In the world.
It's on my bucket list.
And honestly, I'm terrible at smallmouth fishing. Terrible at it. I have a curse. So it would have been better off for them to put me on that lake. I don't even know if I would have started. I may have started like everyone else but myself. But still, like, I'm so mad about that. Yeah, I want to take them down so bad on this little pond, this 9,000 acre pond we're going to.
Yeah, man, Mr. Linzeman,
you woke up the beast.
You have woke the beast. He's coming. He's coming. What you got for me, Mr. Cassidy?
I just want to beat anybody that's not the Indianapolis Knights.
Come on, dude.
Oh, there it is.
Cassidy's like, if you're on our schedule, I want to beat you.
We want to win them all. I mean, it's not too bad to be greedy, right?
There's no such thing as greedy. You just want that W, the almighty W.
We want to win them all, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Okay. Do you have any buddies on any teams that you're facing, or any people that you know on the teams that you're facing?
The Massachusetts guys. I met a lot of those guys down at the KBF National Championship. But outside of that, no, I really don't.
All right, so Mass Maulers, you're on notice because Jason Cassidy just told you guys he's bringing some stuff with him. I had to remind myself that we're keeping it PG-13.
Yeah,
right?
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man. You know there might be children watching. There might be some people who don't like that language. Yeah. I don't want to lose my job. You know, the Navy might be listening to this. Who knows, man? You know, I gotta keep it PG-13.
Yeah, we're worldwide.
World top flight security of the world, Craig. All right. Mr. Cassidy letting you guys know he wants to win every matchup. He has just told you his prediction. The Indianapolis Knights will go 6-0. He just told you his prediction. And they'll be in the playoffs. Chip. Hollywood Chip. Hollywood Chip. Tell me, what matchup? Who do you want to just take it to, bro?
You know, I'm old school enough not to poke the bear, so we're just going to go out and fish and have fun and see what happens.
Okay, well then, what body of water do you want to whip's ass on your schedule?
Well, week 1,
Elk River.
Yep, we're going to start out week 1.
Yeah. All right. So week 1, Chip's setting the stage for you guys, and it's going to happen. All right, so let's just get into it then. Let's just get into it. What you guys excited for the beginning of the season? It's 4 days away, something like that. 5 days away. What's today? Today's Monday. So 4 days away.
Yeah, we're excited. We've been talking about travel plans, and we found ourselves an awesome campground. We're not going to say which one because I don't want them coming in like poisoning our water. But we found an awesome campground today. They're going to put us in a sweet little spot. We're going to have our own little shelter and lights and electricity, all that kind of stuff, fire pit, and plenty of room. So we're pumped up and ready. Just being completely transparent. This is probably the event, as we look at the schedule, that we're going to find most challenging, just because most of us are not, proficient river guys. But like I said early on in the broadcast, we got Chip, and his confidence is definitely pouring over into the rest of the team, and that's awesome. So
you guys gonna be the host for the West Virginia? You're gonna bring them in and have some. No, you're a guest for your first matchup. So hopefully West Virginia is going to be a good host and roll out the red carpet for you guys the night before. Hopefully they don't try to get them drunk and feed them moonshine.
To this local bar the night before, and what worries me is West Virginia. It might be one of those like local mom and pop bars that if you're not from there and you show up, you don't make it out. That's what I'm.
Oh, dude, it is one of those places. Because I was talking to Chris, and Chris was like, "Well, the kitchen closes at 7:30, but if you guys don't think you'll be there, I could talk to the cook and see if they keep the kitchen open a little longer." I'm like,
7:30, the kitchen closing.
"Oh man." That was my first thought, and then I was like, "He knows the cook that well." Oh,
I even missed that whole part. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So who's starting for that matchup? Who's fishing?
We've got 5 anglers going because we got 3 in Texas. So our goal is to travel with the entire team each week, and then we will pick the starting roster based off of who has the hot hand. Who's got the mojo on that body of water. There will be some weeks possibly where we have some conflicts and other things going on, and this team is dedicated to kicking this thing off right and fishing and traveling together. So we're going to try and give everybody an opportunity to get on the water and get a W for the Knights. But we're also gonna look at practice after each event and kind of see who's feeling it and pick it from there. So
okay. So all of you guys have already looked at your schedule and for the most part have said you will be able to travel for it. That's pretty good. If you're looking at having the whole team travel, I mean, obviously, maybe not every game you're going to get. How many do you have? Do you have the full 6 plus the 2 alternates, or?
Yeah, we've got a full 8. The only caveat to that is with Alan's move to Florida, that's going to make some travel arrangements difficult for him. So we actually kind of rotated the roster a little bit to move him down to an alternate spot so that he wouldn't have to be at events. And if he could make them, he could, and that would be great. But, Florida's a long shot to all of our events except for Alabama for him. I mean, more than a day's trip. So yeah, but going into this whole thing, I talked about how we kind of put out the call and then, had a lot of conversations with these guys. And that was a big part. Like I said, like, if you're going to do this, you've got to commit to this. And there's some big sacrifices being made. For example, one of the biggest ones, if this team makes it to the championship and we're going to fish hard to get there, we're giving up one of the biggest pots and prize options in the state right now. One of our larger series here in Indiana's championship is on the same day. And there's kayaks and money and glory all being given up for that event. And that's just one scenario. So these guys are definitely committed and dedicated to getting this thing kicked off right. And I super appreciate all of them being a part of it and dedicating that stuff to the Knights.
Awesome. I have one last question for you guys that I'm curious about. And we're going to start with you, Sam. We're going to go Sam, Justin, then we're going to go Jason and Chip. So your numbers that you picked for your jersey, why that number and what's the significance of it? Start with you, Sam.
So I had another number in mind that someone took. So 9 is kind of been a lucky number for me throughout different things, sports and playing cards and whatever. So 9 really just kind of being a lucky number and kind of my second choice. So
okay, you, Justin?
For me, it means a lot, actually. 22 is the suicide rate veterans a day.
I know that one. I was wondering if that's what it was.
That one, I mean, it hits me hard, and I mean, it hits real close to home. And that was just my way of hoping people like, hey, what's up with number 22? So I can give my little piece of, hey, this is we've got these veterans that we're losing 22 a day to suicide, and it's my way of hopefully just bringing a little bit of awareness.
So, real quick, Justin, man, we're not going to bring it down, but I want you to say that one more time. Explain what 22 is for our veterans.
Number 22 for me on my jersey, I wear it because every day we lose 22 veterans or military members a day to suicide. 22 veterans a day to suicide. It needs to be known. Everybody needs to know it. And the government, the VA, they're really, there's a lot of organizations really trying to help that. I'm a part of the assistant team lead for the state of Indiana it's called the Fallen Outdoors. We take veterans out hunting, fishing, just getting them outside, that brotherhood. And to me, that 22, I needed to wear it. It's just bringing that awareness to that suicide rate.
I appreciate that, brother. Real talk. Appreciate that. Jason, what you got, brother? I know you're not wearing your jersey, so you need to tell about what your number is.
Number 3 is my number. It's a lucky number, the Trinity. I have a pretty strong religious background, so 3 runs in the Bible a lot, and surround myself with as much goodness as I can all the time. So 3's a good lucky number for me, and it looks really good. It looks good.
I agree with you. So one thing we're going to want to see, man, when you guys have your first matchup is, prior to you guys get on the water, we're going to be looking for Jason Cassidy to say a prayer for, every angler that's going out there that day. And I mean that. I'm going to be looking for that.
Yeah, we.
What do I do with my hands?
Well, I'll let you get that here in just a second, but yeah, definitely. If you don't know the Lord, when you come to the nights, we'll make sure we introduce you properly, so that way you can be saved after we take care of business on the water.
I like it. All right, Chip, what is that? I can't see it. Is that 97? 91?
91.
91, okay.
Well, I'm a huge hockey fan, and my first choice was taken, like Sam's first choice, but there's a lot of great Russian hockey players that wear the number 91, so that was kind of my inspiration.
Which one?
Fedorov. My favorite now with the Blues. Now, of course, I'm drawing a blank.
This happens whenever we get put on the spot. We draw blanks. Happened to me earlier.
Greatest player in the NHL right now. Anybody help me out?
I don't watch
St. Louis Blues.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I watch BASS, FLW, LF.
I haven't watched the NHL in a
Who's
minute.
my favorite Blues player?
Baltimore, Tarasenko.
Tarasenko. Thank you. Good grief. How could I not remember that?
I mean, it's a hard name.
My wife.
It's hard.
That's a hard name. I understand. We'll give you a pass for that
You
one.
got the Google machine.
All right, and hey, before we get out of here, I would like you guys to tell everyone where they can follow the team, where they can follow you personally, and Jason, don't forget that I would like you definitely to mention your nonprofit again, man, before we get out of here. So, Sam, what you got? Where can people follow Sam Jones and the Indianapolis Knights at?
Yeah, so Indianapolis Knights, it's easy. Facebook and Instagram, it's at Indy Knights. You can also check us out soon on HoosierKayakBassin.com. So Hoosier Kayak Bassin is the organization that I run, which promotes the sport here in the state and the anglers. We'll have a page up probably after this first week. We'll probably post that page up on that. So you'll be able to go there, and there'll be links to that, and we'll share that, of course, through Indy Knights. But yeah, we'll start putting out some media this week on the Indy Knights stuff. There's a little bit there now, but so at Indy Knights on both Facebook and Instagram, you can find us there. For myself, check out Hoosier Kayak Bassin. And then, my personal stuff is at Jonesing2Fish. That's Facebook and Instagram at Jonesing2Fish. Anywhere you want to look it up. So,
I'm guessing Brian Sparks is one of your teammates.
Yeah, And that's a name you haven't heard, and you better watch out for, because that guy is he's not one to mess with. If it's okay to take moments to talk about the guys who aren't on here.
Definitely, go ahead.
Yeah, so Brian Sparks came into the game last year as a rookie here locally. Also fished some KBF stuff, Trail Series stuff, did very well, Challenge Series and local tournaments. Most of the time he was fishing out of like $100 sit inside blue kayak and absolutely smashing large fish all year long. I mean, catching some of the biggest fish caught all year. And then he also has like a Johnny boat that he was fishing out of. Doesn't own an electronic. He did just get a motor for this season. Yeah, I mean, the guy is unbelievable. He went up to St. Clair for like the first time and caught like 98, 99 inches. Didn't have a graph, wasn't out there scoping them out. He's also won the championship for one of our series here in Indiana last year, Grassroots Bass Yakking. Outstanding angler. And when you talk about confidence, it just kind of like exudes out of him. He's a confident angler. So looking forward to everyone getting to know that name like we have locally.
All right, B Sparks. Y'all heard it here, man. Sounds like he's a hammer to be reckoned with.
Yes.
Who else? You said you want to take a second to talk to the guys who weren't here.
Yep. So Mike Elsey, I don't think we need to do much of an introduction on that one. Obviously, national champion. He's won it all. He's first state champion. We had the first state championship here in Indiana earlier this year. All the series in Indiana, top AOIs and champions came together for a tournament. 14 anglers. He was able to win that one 2-day event. Mike's just an incredible angler. Alan Reed, we talked a little bit about him earlier as well. He's won several events, both locally, AOI titles. He's also won some Trail Series and KBF Pro Tour events.
Yes, he has.
So outstanding angler, and Alan, and I can't say enough about him as well. And who else have we not talked about tonight?
Adam.
Adam. Oh, Adam's another guy that you've never heard his name.
Adam, what's his last name?
Adam Murray.
Adam Murray.
Yeah, he's an outstanding fisherman as well. Keeps it very, very simple. He won an AOI title last year, first season, fishing against several amazing anglers on a series here in Indiana. He's another guy you're going to want to watch out for this season and going forward in all the series he fishes.
Nice. So it sounds like the whole team's full of hammers. All right, I'm gonna need you guys to wake up late, tie your knots incorrectly, and to not grease your bearings. Right?
Can't promise that, but
right. You can try. Yeah, I tried. All right, I tried. West Virginia, I tried. I really tried. So, Mr. Staley, for you, got anything left you want to say? Where can people follow you?
Mine's pretty easy. Facebook and Instagram is Bass Yakking Vet, all one word. At Bass Yakking Vet, Facebook, Instagram. There is a YouTube out there, but there's like 3 videos on it. I ain't had a chance to play with it, so.
Did I tell you what? That's time consuming, because I started editing a video that I did like a week ago today, and it was just like 4 hours in, and I'm like, I'm not even halfway done with this. I'm like,
I've got a lot of phone footage that I need to give Sam, and I played with some of it. It will blow your mind how much time these people have in editing videos.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, I bought a drone so I can get drone footage, for my fishing and stuff. But like, as long as it's taking me to edit just for my GoPro stuff, you talking about putting a drone video? I'm like, you know what? Let me sell this drone. Let me just delete my YouTube.
You put your drone in the air, and then you got to hop in your kayak. You got to go out. You fish for 5 minutes, and then your drone battery's dead, and you got to come down.
Yeah.
Then you throw editing on top of it.
All right. So that was a yak, bass, and vet.
Bass, yak, and vet.
Bass, yak, and vet. If
There
you
you go.
want to follow Mr. Staley's Bass, yak, and vet, all one word. You know who's next, man. Come on. I saw that truck. I like that that decal on the truck. It's nice. You're still muted.
Yeah, sorry about
There
that.
you
I got
No, you're good.
we're in our camper, so we travel with the dogs. We've got 3 big dogs.
What kind of dogs?
We got a golden retriever, German Shepherd, and a border collie blue heeler mix.
Those are all awesome dogs, actually. I love all 3 of those.
We travel with a full house.
Yeah, that's like $10,000 in $10,000 in dogs right there.
Yeah, well, I'll sell you all 3 of them for like $7,500 right now.
Hey, bro. Now, first off, you're lying.
They come with plastic chew toys.
And second off, if I agreed to that, I would be homeless right now.
I
My
wouldn't
wife
sell
would
them
kick me out.
dogs. But no, there's a float. That's the logo. You can find it online. A Float Inc. On Facebook, or a float on Facebook in general. We're gonna have a website up real soon. It's a float, Camp Afloat at. No, it's just campafloat.org, right, Sam? I think is what we got on there. But we're finishing that up now.
And tell everybody again, what does a float stand for?
A float stands for Family Life Outdoors Achieves Togetherness. We take families hiking, camping, fishing, anything to get them outdoors, and unplug, get off their electronic devices, unplug and reconnect as a family. A lot like most of us did when we were kids. I mean, that's some of the best memories I had growing up. There were few, but I remember every camping trip I ever went on as a kid. I mean, it really had a major impact on my life. And I think we, as parents now, we're just as bad, if not worse, than some of these kids when it comes to those devices and cell phones. So put them up and get out and go do some things. It's a lot of fun out there. So that's what we do. We take, and there's no charge for it. We take families out just so some of them don't know what is out there. They don't know how to set up a tent or start a fire or bait a line. You know, they don't know none of that stuff. So we show them how to do it, give them the equipment to do it so they can repeat and make some memories.
Hey, man, that is awesome. Appreciate you doing that. And if there's anybody, I don't actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna put that plug out there for your nonprofit. I was going to say, if there's anybody in the area who wants to come help out with a float, hit this man up. But
let us know. We always, we send you some sponsorship, papers, whatever you need. $250 or more, you can write that off on your taxes if you need to do so. So, whatever you need to do, we'll hook you up. If you need help, if you got a nonprofit, and we collaborate with people all the time to help out where we can help out. The end game is to just see people unplug and reconnect, no matter how it goes. We want to see people, change their lives for the good forever. So
correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said that you don't charge anything to take these families out, and
no, it's all free. Whether families got big money, no money, they all got the same problem. These little devices that we're holding in our hand right now, right? So we take donations. If people want to donate, they're more than welcome to, obviously. But it's all about getting the families outdoors. I mean, that's the name of the game.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate what you're doing with a float, man, and it makes me want to come to the Indy area just so I can experience this. That's truly an awesome thing, man.
We're looking for a family right now for the June 25th and 26th. We're gonna take a rookie family out that hasn't experienced the outdoors in a camping environment, and show them how to set up camps, set up a tent, cook on the fire, the whole nine, and give them the equipment to do it with in the future. So if you know anybody, go to Float on Facebook and we'll hook you up.
Got you. Appreciate it, man. All right, Chip. Hollywood Chip.
Well, I'm new to the social media platforms. I don't do a lot with much beyond Facebook, but I have Instagram, Fish and Chip 91, and would like to just say something else here if I could.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
What a great group of people that we have, not just fishermen, but a great group of people. Jason's outfit and Justin's work that he does. Mine's nowhere near on that scale, but I've pledged to donate 10% of whatever I win this year to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And I've encouraged everybody else through my Facebook to do that. If we don't catch one fish all year, I still think we're winners.
Absolutely.
Just a great group of guys, and I'm so proud to be associated with it.
Absolutely, man. That was awesome. Well said, man. And again, for everyone who didn't hear this, Fish and Chip 91.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm going to create him some other social media. He's going to be known as Hollywood Chip. All right. Don't be confusing him with Chippendales or nothing crazy like that. It's Hollywood Chip. All right. You see that great smile, Hollywood Chip. Hey, everyone. First off, you guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I don't know if you see that timer at the top, but that's 2 hours and 6 minutes, and it hasn't felt for me. I don't know. Maybe it has for you. Maybe the whole time you guys have been like, I wish this dude to shut up so I can get off or go to sleep. But it hasn't felt like 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's been a great conversation, a great time with you guys, and this the Indianapolis Knights. They put everybody on notice, man. This is a great group of guys, man. Did you guys hear this? Did you pay attention? This is a great group of guys, man. They're not just anglers. They're not just fishermen. They're a great group of people. They're doing great things. And definitely, if you're in the Indianapolis area or not even in the Indianapolis area, somewhere close, go check out a float, man. That's an awesome thing. Like, that crazy, right? Sam put together a great team here, man. And it seems like they all meld well together.
It's
Brian.
Brotherhood on it. It really is.
I don't know if you heard him. He says it's become a brotherhood. It really has. And, KFL, you know what? I'll say this one thing about KBBT, which, is the big brother of KFL. From the very beginning of KBBT, the best thing I thought about it was the fact that it was about the anglers and not about, let's get sponsors. Let's do this crazy stuff. It was about showcasing everybody fishing. And KFL is just taking what KBBT started, and we're building upon it. This great team you see in front of you is, look at it. I mean, Mr. Staley just said it best. He said it's become a brotherhood. This is a group of guys. Maybe they knew each other before, maybe they didn't, but already have developed a bond, a close bond, and that's what we're trying to build in this KFL thing. It's a family atmosphere, but when we're on the water, it's like the family that goes to war with each other. We're on the water, but when we're not on the water, it's a family that prays together, man. They stay together. Thank you guys really very much for coming on and having a great, easy interview. Great talk. I look forward to meeting you guys in person. I haven't met any of you in person, but I look forward to it. I would like to. And thank you very much. If you guys, last thing you want to say before you get off, let me know, man. I'll be quiet. You have the floor.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Hollywood Chip. What is that? TRCcovers.com, man. That's the title sponsor for this squad you see in front of you. All right.
Absolutely.
These guys are bringing the pain in the season. Next 4 days away, this Saturday. Check them out. Thank you guys for coming on, and y'all have a great night, man.
Thank
you
you
for having us. Appreciate you.
Good night. All right, guys, that was the Indianapolis Knights. Great interview. Great bunch of guys. I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, they're really good group of guys. Looking forward to the season starting. They're excited for it. It's going to be fun. You better tune in this weekend to all the great matchups we have going on. The schedule's been going across the screen this entire last 2 hours and 10 minutes and 3 seconds. So you should know who's facing who this first inaugural weekend of KFL. It's up to us. It's up to the anglers to make this thing great. Let's do it. Anglers, the the audience, all of us. Let's make this thing great. Let's make this thing as big as the world can be. You feel me? Like, you guys rock with us, we're gonna rock with you, and we're gonna move together. And Matt Linseman is crazy for not choosing St. Clair on that list. If you agree with me, make sure you say that in the comments. St. Clair should be on the list. It should. Everybody wants to go to St. Clair and catch some of those football smallies. What? I agree with Sam Jones on this one. Matt, you messing up, bro. 9,000 acre pond in the backyard. That's where you taking them. Nobody want to catch no tadpoles. Anyway, that's KFL tonight. Appreciate you for tuning in. Indianapolis Knights. They are the Knights. They are the Knights of the Round Table right there. You saw what they're about. Look for them this Saturday. Y'all have a great night.